When you would interview somebody to try to get them registered to vote, if they didn't know their last name, what's the process you would go about on filling out the voter registration in that situation?
And we were told to put an X down, and that's it.
Because they wouldn't be able to get mail where they were located, what kind of, how would you set up the mailing address for them to be able to get their ballots?
We had two particular places that had given permission for us to use as their address, which was Interfaith Works through Meg Martin, and that was 705 Franklin Street. When the warming center was still open, we would use the 225 State Street or State Avenue, excuse me, to use that as the alternate site.
When you were comparing notes with other people, roughly how many people who were homeless in the Olympia area do you think you guys were able to register to vote?
I would say we probably got well in the range of 500 to 600 people to register to vote.
Register to vote.
Something's wrong here.
I think that, like many other people whose heart is often in the right place, sometimes they're put in a situation in which they're taken advantage of and they're used. My name's Glen Morgan.
Hey guys, check this out.
What is it?
Is someone in?
This is the story of somebody who has been an advocate and heavily involved in homeless camp issues and homeless advocacy for a long, long time in Washington State. She was a Green Party activist and a Democrat Party activist. This is her story.
My name is Phoenix Holmes, and I am a peer counselor, chaplain, and advocate for the houseless, including of which Steve Medic and apprentice attorney. I was born in Shelton, Washington. I have been homeless since the day of my birth, all the way until the age of 36. I am 39 now.
One of the things you were going to do is go help people register to vote. And so explain that process, how you would do that, and what made you be interested in going out and doing that as well.
I was extremely interested due to the fact that I was approached by Anna Schleck, Tyler Gundel, and many other advocates to have a wonderful day at doing this, and it was a raw day. And as we would have a clipboard, and we would have a clicker, and then we would have the registration. The clicker was as when we would go into the encampments, and then we would click off how many people there were. As people were to come up to us, if they wanted to we would figure out where in their situation of being houseless was. And then number 3, when the registration to vote was, is that if the person was a legal resident, if they were capable to vote because of criminal background issues, and if they were a Washington State resident.
Because they wouldn't be able to get mail where they were located, what kind of, how would you set up the mailing address for them to be able to get their ballots?
We had two particular places that had given permission for us to use as their address, which was Interfaith Works through Meg Martin, and that was 705 Franklin Street. When the warming center was still open, we would use the 225 State Street or State Avenue, excuse me, to use that as the alternate site.
When you would interview somebody to try to get them registered to vote, if they didn't know their last name, what's the process you would go about on filling out the voter registration in that situation?
We were told by Anna Schleck herself that if the person did not have their last name or had no knowledge of their last name, and just in a cute inoculate, it would be Glen X. And we were told to put an X down, and that's it.
How many people over the span of how long were you registering people to vote, roughly? How much time did you spend on that, do you think?
My partner and I went to 3 different encampments, and we got well over 247, because I remember the clicker, just clickers. And then I would say we got probably well in the range of, I would say 150 of those we got registered to vote.
When you were comparing notes with other people, roughly how many people who were homeless in the Olympia area do you think you guys were able to register to vote overall?
Well, the census that was official for 2018 stated 835, but that is not a true actual number. The true number would be 2,100 and some odd souls.
Okay.
So with that, I would state for that particular day alone, if we were just to go off of the 835 point, I would say we probably got well in the range of 500 to 600 people to register to vote.
Register
that
to
day.
vote, okay.
Yes.
That's where the ballots would come, would be one of those 2 addresses.
Yes.
And then would they go up there and be able to pick up their mail or pick up their ballots that way? Is that kind of how they would do it? Or?
That was the way it was supposed to be, yes.
So tell me how it actually happened.
Many of us started within the first couple weeks of the voting season, because we had done this back in May and April of the 2018. We started going there around, I would say, July, August, to try to see if our ballots came through. And unfortunately, as we started noticing, many people were being turned away saying, we don't have any mail for you at all, period. And we're like, wait a minute, there should be a ballot at least coming in for each of these individuals. They're like, no mail has come through. And as it got more and more serious as the time for the primary election started, people were coming up to me left and right of the houseless variety and stating, where's our ballots? We want to be able to vote for the first time. We're so excited. Where's our ballots? And I'm like, I don't know. And I went actually to the front desk of both locations and said, where's the people's mail? Where is it gone? And they're like, we have not received any mail for each of these individuals at all, period. And I'm like, something's wrong here.
Because you would know who they were because you actually registered them to vote. Okay.
And many of them were, some of the ones that I registered myself, and some of them were of the other advocate groups that went out as well. And then Tyler Gundall was even being asked that too. She was like, I don't know. And it was down to the point where we went and started looking up certain people online and started noticing that they had already voted when they never got their ballot yet.
So that's because you can go on the website if you know their basic information. You can actually look to see if your ballot's been counted. That's some on the Secretary of State's website.
Yes.
So you guys actually did that.
Yes, on quite a few of them.
Okay.
And as we started noticing the discrepancy was growing and growing to the point where it just literally deflated the whole houseless family population. From the excitement of being able to be individualized and be given a voice finally, it fizzled out. It made them lose hope and all capability of wanting to do anything.
Because somebody else had voted for them, is what it looks like.
Yes.
So when was the first time that you were doing this big registration drive and when you first realized that there was something wrong with the ballots?
We had started in April, May of 2018. That was the main census point. It was rather dark during that time. And then we started getting filtered situation and started getting asked around July, August of the 2018.
So the primaries in the 2018 election?
Yes.
Okay.
According to Phoenix, many of these camp residents were not happy with the city of Olympia incumbents, and they were planning to vote against them. But of course, conveniently, it appears that they didn't get those ballots in the first place, and they never could do that.
We had a sort of a number of registrations of, I would say 700 some odd registrations actually were done.
Okay.
And again, I would say we may have gotten only maybe 100.
Where you actually received the ballots and found
Yeah.
people who got them. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
This is Phoenix Holmes' story. I think that like many other people whose heart is often in the right place, sometimes they're put in a situation in which they're taken advantage of and they're used. My name's Glen Morgan, and this is We the Govern. My name's Glen Morgan.
That's all I have for you today. If you do have any questions or comments about this, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day.